The scene opens in New York, where Emma, an installation designer, unveils her beautiful design for Christmas. Later, she approaches her boss, who informs her that she is already booked for next Christmas due to her stunning designs. Emma believes she will be in charge of this year's Christmas Eve design, but she soon discovers that the job has been assigned to someone else. Gwen feels Emma plays it too safe and lacks new ideas, or a willingness to take risks. Emma is devastated by this news, but remains calm. Later in the night, she goes on a date with her boyfriend, Brad, and laments about not getting the Christmas Eve design job. He encourages her, and just then, Emma's father walks into the restaurant. Brad, upon seeing him, quickly adjusts his outfit to create a good impression. Emma tells him to address her father as Sir, as he'll like it, but it turns out her father doesn't want Brad to refer to him as Sir. He quickly tells Brad to call him Mike while they greet each other. He joins them at the table, and they share a light-hearted moment with Emma's father informing Brad about Emma's love for Christmas. Brad says they'll spend Christmas together in an executive suite, surprising Emma, because he has not mentioned it to her before. Brad reveals he wants it to be a surprise. Emma argues that she doesn't want to spend Christmas in a fancy hotel. Brad, in a bid to convince her, starts listing the things they'll get to avoid if they spend their Christmas in the hotel, not knowing that the things he listed are what Emma loves doing on Christmas. Upon discovering this, he changes his mind and is about to bring up another idea when Emma's father cuts him short and tells them his own plans for Christmas, which is studying their ancestry. With this, he reveals that he's going to Scotland to trace their ancestry and gifts them 2 flight tickets as an early Christmas gift. Emma happily agrees to come to Scotland with him, but Brad doesn't seem cool with the decision, though he fakes a smile. They leave the restaurant, and on their way, Brad argues about going to Scotland because of his job. Emma assures him that there will be internet in Scotland, and it'll be a great adventure. Brad apologizes, saying he can't go, prompting Emma to consider a change of mind too. After a brief discussion, Emma decides to go to Scotland with her father. In the next scene, Emma and her father set out for Scotland. Upon arriving at the house where they'll be staying, Emma notices the absence of Christmas decorations. Her father points to a small tree with minimal decoration, and Emma jokingly refers to it as a tragedy. She asks if Christmas happens at a different time in Scotland, and to her surprise, a young man appears and explains that they celebrate Christmas on December 25th, just like the rest of the world. Emma further inquires about the lack of decorations, and the young man gestures towards the small tree, causing Emma to laugh. He explains that the tree is a gift from the Lord of Glenrothy, who owns the land and everything on it. Emma makes a rude comment about the Lord sounding like a Scrooge, but her father quickly interrupts and introduces himself to the young man, who introduces himself to be Alex Glenrothy, Lord Glenrothy's son. This leaves Emma in utter shock, realizing she insulted Alex's father. Alex goes to deliver a Christmas card. Emma and her dad arrive at the pub where they will be staying and meet Ruth, the owner of the pub. Emma is pleased to see someone celebrating Christmas properly and expresses her thoughts. Mr. Mackenzie recounts the encounter between Emma and Alex Glenrothy to Ruth, who tells them that Christmas is a sore point for the villagers. She adds that while the laird allows them to decorate the insides of their homes and businesses as they like, the outside is a different matter, as he feels there is no spectacle or razzle-dazzle. With her explanation, she shows them to their rooms. In the morning, Emma sits with her father, having breakfast. He asks if she would like to accompany him to the library to assist with his research, but Emma expresses her desire to explore the village first, and suggests they leave together. He encourages her to go ahead, because his meal will take some time. Emma heads out, strolling down the street, and finds it surprising that the villagers look at her in an unusual way. Some offer her gifts, while others wave at her. During her tour, she encounters one of the villagers, Bruce, who runs a shop. Bruce offers Emma mince pies, which she tastes and confirms to be delicious. Emma meets 2 more villagers who offer her with gifts, including a bucket of writing materials and a measuring tape, while another villager named Megan gifts Emma with a pendant. At this point, Emma starts feeling uncomfortable with the excessive display of affection from the villagers, and refuses to accept the gift from Megan. She asks to know why the villagers are gifting her, and Megan reveals that Ruth informed them about her, and now almost everyone in the village knows her. Megan further explains that Emma is the one they need, but Emma is confused about why they need her. Megan says it's because they want to win the title of the best Christmas village. She promises to buy Emma another mince pie and explain everything to her. Soon they go to Bruce's place, where Megan explains the significance of the Best Christmas Village competition, held annually in December. She reveals that the winning village not only receives a trophy, but also a substantial cash prize to share and spend on gifts. However, despite Glenrothy's potential, they've never won, due to the Laird's insistence on adhering to tradition. Megan expresses frustration at their rival village's consistent victories and subsequent boasting. Megan's mood brightens as she expresses hope that Emma's presence in Glenrothy will bring about change. She praises Emma's previous work, particularly a shop window display she installed. However, to Megan's disappointment, Emma returns her gift and explains that she's in Scotland on vacation to reassess her career and can't commit to helping with the decorations. As they discuss it, Emma's father arrives with news that the village wants Emma to design their Christmas lights to compete with their rivals. He shares the excitement of the villagers about Emma's presence. He informs Emma of a planning meeting scheduled at the pub for 1 o'clock. Emma appears confused, prompting her father to offer to cancel the meeting. She hesitates, but eventually decides to proceed with the meeting. Emma begins the discussion, emphasizing that if they're serious about winning the contest, there's much to be done. She encourages them to share their thoughts before offering her own opinions. As the villagers start sharing their ideas, Emma suggests kicking off the Christmas decorations with a new tree, considering the current one too small. However, her thought is interrupted by the arrival of Alex. He informs her that she must convey her suggestions directly to the Laird of Glenrothy, as the Laird wishes to meet her. Emma proposes going with the villagers to show their ideas, but Alex insists that his father only wants to see Emma. They head to the Laird's house, during which Alex shares insights into his family's ownership of the land, including the farmers and families residing there. Their conversation shifts to Emma's expertise in decorating Christmas trees, with Alex asserting that it's not a challenging task. Emma provides clarification on the complexity of her job, and soon they reach the Laird's castle. Emma takes pictures of the impressive castle, while Alex enlightens her on its history. Just as they arrive, the Laird comes out to greet her, recalling Emma's earlier reference to him as Scrooge. Emma attempts to apologize, but the Laird says that he's heard worse. She apologizes, and the Laird invites her inside to give her a tour. They enter to have tea and discuss Emma's decoration ideas. The Laird and Alex attempt to explain why they don't typically decorate the village for Christmas. Suddenly, a little girl named Rona, who happens to be the Laird's granddaughter, bursts into the room, asking if Emma is the lady from New York who has come to decorate for Christmas. Emma confirms, and Rona joyfully hugs her. She starts questioning Emma about the decorations, but the Laird clarifies that he invited Emma to explain why she won't be decorating the village. Despite Rona's attempts to argue, her grandfather remains firm, stating he's made his decision. Rona becomes sad and leaves the room. The Laird reveals that Christmas is tough for Rona, as her parents are abroad with various commitments. Emma suggests decorating to make Christmas special for her. Following their meeting with the Laird, Alex walks alongside Emma outside. They engage in discussion as they stroll when suddenly the Laird emerges, calling out to Emma. He inquires whether she stands by her earlier statement regarding the decorations. Emma confirms, and to their surprise, he grants her permission to decorate Glenrothy. Curious about his sudden change of heart, Alex questions him. The Laird says it is his role as a grandfather, and expresses his desire for Rona to experience a joyful Christmas. He explains that he'll only let the decoration move forward if it meets his standards, and he announces his intention for Alex to supervise Emma's work. Emma and Alex are taken aback by this idea and attempt to offer excuses, but the Laird remains firm. He presents it as his final offer, leaving Emma with the option to accept or decline. Later, Mr. Mackenzie and Ruth delve into his ancestry research. They realize that Donald Mackenzie, one of his ancestors, was the last resident of Glenrothy. Ruth enlightens him about the possibility of finding his family tartan now that they have this information, explaining the importance of the ancestral tartan. Meanwhile, during Emma's visit to the Laird's residence, she, Alex, and Rona take a walk together. Alex tells Emma what he expects the decorations to be like, but Emma asserts her need to communicate with her clients to understand their preferences. Their interaction is lighthearted, with Emma joking about Scotland's lack of snow. Their moment is interrupted by Rona, who urges them to hasten their pace to search for mistletoe, prompting them to join her. Later that evening, Emma and her father sit in the pub as Ruth serves him a cup of coffee, which he appreciates with a loving stare. Emma notices the exchange, but her father dismisses it as mere politeness, expressing gratitude for Ruth's assistance in his research. Emma expresses a desire to work with someone as helpful as Ruth, and her father mentions Alex, whom Emma acknowledges as not being a bad person, but being stuck in his father's shadow. She discusses her desire for the perfect lights, and her father encourages her to embrace innovation and take risks. In the next scene, Emma meets Alex to discuss the decorations. She outlines the items they plan to acquire for the decorations, but Alex expresses disagreement with each one. Emma seeks clarification on what he doesn't like, prompting Alex to explain that he knows his father won't like any of the things in the list, so he's trying to save her from fruitless efforts. Recognizing the bluntness of his words, he apologizes, saying that while the decorations are cool, they aren't suitable for Glenrothy. Unwilling to change her mind, Emma suggests starting afresh, but Alex opts to show her the unwanted items instead. Afterwards, they go to Bruce's restaurant to deliberate further. During their conversation, Alex shows Emma images of the rival village's Christmas decorations, pointing out things they wish to avoid. As they discuss, Emma proposes a bet over hot chocolate. If Alex loses, a hot chocolate stall will be set up in Glenrothy, but if Emma loses, she'll withdraw her offer to assist with the decorations. They agree to the bet, and Alex ultimately loses. As they leave the restaurant, they take a stroll through the village, with Alex telling Emma stories associated with various locations. Emma becomes concerned by Alex's former fondness for Christmas, and questions his abrupt change. Alex attributes it to maturity and increased responsibilities, finding it funny when Emma confesses to still writing letters to Santa. As they stroll, they arrive at Megan's jewelry store, where Emma suggests picking out a Christmas gift for her boyfriend. Curious, she asks Alex if he has anyone special to shop for, but he says no, citing busyness and a lack of potential partners in Glenrothy. After leaving the store, they meet James Bowden, a young man from the rival village of Burngelnan, who has come to verify rumors about Emma's decorations. Emma explains that she's on a vacation with her father to explore their ancestry, but James remains confident after realizing that Glenrothy didn't hire Emma to help them in winning the Christmas village competition. Alex tries to temper James's confidence by vouching for Emma's decoration skills. Feeling angry by what James said, Alex goes to a corner to cool his head, regretting his earlier boasting, as he's uncertain about their chances of winning. Emma reassures him, expressing confidence in her ability to outshine Burngelnan with her creative vision. Inspired by her determination, they resolve to take risks together and collaborate as a team. Subsequently, the decoration process commences, with Emma taking measurements and sketching designs. Amidst her work, she notices a drawing similar to the pendant from Megan. Just then, she overhears her father's voice and goes to check on him, only to meet him laughing with Ruth. Curious, Emma approaches and discovers her father wearing a kilt, proudly displaying the Mackenzie tartan. Ruth offers an explanation once more, but their conversation is interrupted by the librarian's shushing, reminding them of their location within the library. The following day, they gather for a meeting, and Emma reveals her discovery of the pendant in a history book to Megan. Megan explains its significance as a traditional Celtic symbol representing everlasting unity and friendship. Inspired, they decide to replicate it on a larger scale as a prominent feature decoration. Megan eagerly agrees to the plan, and the meeting commences. Taking the lead, Emma outlines the materials needed to commence the decorations. Subsequently, she asks attendees to share their surnames and what Christmas signifies to them. Initially hesitant, Megan shares how Christmas fosters a sense of togetherness, kindness, and reciprocal love. As Megan speaks, Emma and Alex exchange thoughtful glances, lost in each other's thoughts, until Megan's voice snaps Emma back to attention. Following the meeting, Emma goes to the field with Rona in search of mistletoe. During their conversation about Alex's busy schedule, Rona expresses a wish for him to have more time to play with her, or even get married, seeing herself as a future bridesmaid. They share a laugh before resuming their hunt for mistletoe. Later, Emma and Alex are arranging plants for the decorations. Emma expresses gratitude for his commitment to the decoration activities. During their conversation, she brings up the subject of his hatred for Christmas. Before Alex can respond, Emma accidentally pricks her hand on a thorn. Alex assists in removing it, and soon they find themselves locked in a gaze until Emma's phone interrupts, signaling a call from her boyfriend. As Emma speaks with Brad, Alex gets jealous, prompting him to leave the room. Finally, the decoration process kicks off in earnest under Emma's direction. She approaches Alex, who is swiftly fixing the Christmas tree, and is surprised at how quickly he obtained it. Alex reveals that they cultivate Christmas trees on the estate, surprising Emma, as she knows that Alex and his father don't have Christmas trees at the castle, but supply them to other homes. In the evening, Rona proudly announces Glenrothy's entry for the best Christmas village, and they switch on the lights amidst cheers from everyone. Emma then unveils remarkable discoveries, narrating the story behind each one. The laird joins them, but expresses dissatisfaction with the decorations, disappointing his son by publicly criticizing his lack of understanding of what he likes. He then departs with Rona. However, Alex remains unfazed and declares his love for the Christmas decorations, causing cheers from the crowd. They continue the celebration with food and drink. Later, Emma appears disheartened by the laird's comments about her decorations. Megan suggests that Alex talk to Emma, pointing out the evident mutual feelings between them. Alex initially hesitates, but eventually approaches Emma at the pub with hot chocolates. Emma vents her frustration, feeling that her efforts are futile, and that she pushed herself too far by taking risks and trying something new. Alex reassures her, urging her to disregard his father's remarks, explaining his resistance to change and traditional mindset. He acknowledges Emma's attempt to bring change, asserting that she has shown him the importance of celebrating Christmas. They make another hot chocolate bet, with Alex winning this time. He drives her to the waterside, where he confesses his wish for Emma to stay in Glenrothy, saying the villagers and Rona are fond of her. Just then, Emma receives a call from Megan, who informs her that Berngelman has plagiarized their ideas. They rush back to the pub to deliberate on their next steps. As they discuss it, James Bowden enters the pub, prompting Emma to confront him about the stolen ideas. In his defense, James claims that the ideas have been in development for a long time, and says that it is an unfortunate coincidence. Before leaving, he extends an invitation to Christmas in Berngelman. Meanwhile, Emma suggests adding more displays to their existing ones, but Megan reminds her of the limited time available, and Emma's father reveals they must return to New York the following day. Despite the time constraints, Emma calls Brad to inform him that she won't be coming back to New York soon. Fortunately, Brad understands and doesn't express concern. After sharing the message to her father and Alex, they embark on devising another decoration plan. During their meeting, they think about ideas that Berngelman can't replicate. Emma proposes the concept of hosting a Christmas party, supported by historical references to maintain tradition. Initially resistant, the laird eventually agrees after some negotiation, and they commence preparations for the event. At another meeting, Ruth suggests a dance, pairing Mike with herself and Alex with Emma. Despite their initial reluctance, Ruth persuades them with valid reasons, and they agree. Later, Alex teaches Emma how to perform the Scottish dance at the castle. To Emma's surprise, Brad unexpectedly arrives while they are dancing. After introductions, Emma and Brad step outside to talk. Brad reveals his decision to surprise her, after she expressed her admiration for Scotland during their phone call. Emma is concerned about balancing her commitment to the Christmas decorations with spending time with Brad, and expresses her worries, but Brad assures her that he'll occupy himself while she works on the decorations. In the next scene, Brad approaches Alex while he's working and discusses the potential for the castle to generate income. Brad suggests converting it into a profitable golf club and spa, with his assistance and connections. However, Alex informs him that his father despises golf and spas, but Brad remains willing in his proposal, and requests a meeting with the laird. Alex agrees to arrange the meeting, and agrees not to mention their conversation to Emma. Meanwhile, Emma and Rona continue their search for mistletoe. Rona opens up about her grandmother's illness during Christmas, which deeply affected her uncle's attitude toward the holiday. Emma sympathizes with Rona upon hearing this tragic story. Upon arriving at the castle, Emma witnesses the laird harshly sending Brad out of his house. Concerned, she intervenes to know what's happening, and learns that Brad proposed selling the castle to the hotel he works for. Accusing Emma of being an accomplice in Brad's scheme, the laird cancels the decorations and party. Alex defends Emma, but the laird won't change his mind. Later, Emma finds herself in a tense conversation with Brad. Despite her attempts to offer advice, Brad misinterprets her intentions and accuses her of siding with Alex and his family over him. Emma reminds Brad of his initial refusal to come to Scotland, only showing interest once he saw a business opportunity. Frustrated, they mutually decide to end their relationship, and Brad leaves the castle. Alex comforts Emma after their breakup. Emma says if they broke up long ago, maybe they'd still have a Christmas party to plan. Surprisingly, Alex reveals they still have a party to plan, as his father has already invited his friends and VIP guests, so canceling it at the last minute might be embarrassing. Grateful for Alex's support, Emma asks how she can repay him, and he asks her to stay in Scotland for Christmas and New Year's Eve. Later that night, Emma's father brings up the topic of her and Brad's breakup. Emma confesses that she doesn't feel hurt about it, and realizes that her heart doesn't race when she thinks about him anymore. When her father inquires if her heart races for someone else, Emma finds herself unable to answer. The following day, Emma is putting the finishing touches on the Christmas tree in the castle when the laird comes downstairs and apologizes for accusing her the day before. He gifts her with a beautiful dress once owned by his late wife. Emma hesitates and rejects the gesture, but the laird insists, and she accepts it. The next day, while Emma and her crew are busy with decorations, Alex arrives and invites her to accompany him to procure a larger Christmas tree. They head to the estate farm, where Alex shows her mistletoe, and they share a moment that almost leads to a kiss before Emma's phone interrupts. Her boss, Gwen, calls to inform her of an urgent need in New York, as their other installation designer has disappointed them. Emma, torn between her commitment in Scotland and the opportunity in New York, promises to consider Gwen's offer. Alex notices her considering a change of mind and confronts her. But Emma's response about his first Christmas since his mother's passing causes a hurtful outburst from Alex. Feeling hurt, Emma decides to return to New York and delegates her remaining tasks to Megan and Bruce. Despite her father's offer to accompany her, she insists he stay and spend Christmas with Ruth, having noticed his feelings for her. They share an emotional embrace, and Rona, witnessing their farewell, questions Emma's decision to leave. Emma explains her reasons and shares a heartfelt hug with Rona. Later that evening, as Emma steps outside to bid farewell to the decorations, snow begins to fall, causing tears of joy. Her phone rings, but she ignores the call from her boss. Meanwhile, at the castle, guests starts to arrive for the party. Rona excitedly informs Alex of the snowfall, but his attempt to lift her spirits with a mistletoe falls flat as Rona expresses disappointment over Emma's absence. He encourages Rona to get some mince pie to cheer herself up. Alex's father approaches him and urges him to go find Emma and apologize. Despite Alex's concerns about his responsibilities, his father reassures him that recent events have prompted him to reassess their priorities. Alex agrees to seek out Emma once the judging is complete and the party ends, intending to catch the next flight to New York. To their surprise, Emma arrives at the Christmas party wearing the dress gifted by the laird. As Alex approaches her to apologize, they are interrupted by an announcement calling them to pair up for the Ceilidh dance. During the dance, Alex finally offers his sincere apology for his earlier harsh words. The laird enters and commends Emma for her outstanding work, announcing Glenrothy as the winner of the Best Christmas Village. The crowd erupts in celebration. Later, the laird offers Emma the trophy, but she insists he keep it. He then reveals that many individuals have expressed interest in having Emma decorate their homes for various events, including gala weddings, state visits, and Christmas. This revelation marks a significant breakthrough for Emma, showing her future in Scotland alongside her newfound love and her father, who has also found love. As Emma and Alex share a kiss, Rona joins them, and they share a heartwarming group hug, filled with joy and love.